Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is not my typical home decor DIY video, but I thought that if it could help at least one person, it is worth posting. If you would like to see a home decor DIY video, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for a bonus video with some very special friends of mine. I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. For most of my adult life, I have wanted a swimming pool, and we have been blessed to be able to purchase this above ground swimming pool. And with the help of a wonderful friend, we were able to add a deck between our covered porch and the swimming pool. Without his help, guidance, and beautiful craftsmanship, we would not have been able to achieve this in a little over a week. So thank you so much, Daniel. We truly appreciate you. Now, my husband and I have already cut a section of railing out between our covered porch and our deck and installed this 4x4 post. I want to install a safety gate that is not only functional but beautiful. So let me show you how I created a barn door gate, and then we'll go ahead and get it installed. A few years ago, I made a gate at the top of the steps on our covered porch, and I want to create a gate with the similar style to go between the covered porch and the deck. So first off, I'm going to measure the opening at the top and the bottom, and mine ended up being about 36 3/4 of an inch. So I know I want to make my gate about 35 inches wide. I'm using 4 1x4x10s that you can find at Lowe's for around $6 each. I want the height of my gate to be about 31 inches high, so I'm going to cut these down to 31 inches using my miter saw. I'm going to cut 9 of these, and with the spacing in between, that's going to give me my 35 inches. To line these up straight, I'm using a square, and I'm going to line the first board up to the side and the bottom, and then I'm using some of Dollar Tree's tumbling tower pieces on the sides to place at the top and the bottom, so I will have an even gap between each board. Then I'll just pull it closer to the first board and make sure it's flush at the bottom. Now in this case, because the gate's 35 inches wide, the square is not long enough, so I'm going to take a piece of the cut off 1x4x10 and line it up with the square so I can make sure the rest of the gate lines up at the bottom and I can continue my spacing. Once I have everything spaced out and everything is lined up at the bottom and on the side, and I know everything is square, I'm then going to measure and cut the top and bottom pieces. So my measurements are exactly 35 inches at the top and the bottom. So I'll go ahead and cut the 1x4x10 down to 35 inches, and you'll need 2 of these. I'm going to place these flush at the top and the bottom of the gate, and then using some 1 3/4 of an inch wood screws, I'm going to attach it. You want to make sure your wood screws do not come through the other side. So I'm going to place 2 screws on each end to hold it in place. And then I'm going to go back and add 2 screws to each board at the top and at the bottom. So my original gate, I did this on the back side, but I'm doing it on the front side so you guys can see. If you don't want the screws to show, you'll definitely want to flip this over and attach them from the back. But since I am attaching mine from the front, I will show you guys what I did to cover up those screw holes. Then I'll measure between the bottom of the top rail and the top of the bottom rail, and mine measured about 23 7/8 of an inch on each side, and I'll go ahead and screw those down in place. Using a leftover piece from the 1x4x10s that we have cut down, I'm going to use that as a cross piece to go across the gate. So I'm going to line it up in the 2 corners, and then using a speed square, I will line that up with the bottom edge and draw a straight line, line it up on the side edge and draw a straight line until the 2 lines meet, and I'll do the exact same thing at the upper corner. And here I'll give you a little bit of a close-up of what it looks like, but you're basically just lining your speed square up with that bottom board and the side board. Then I could take this over to my miter saw and determine exactly what the degree angle I need and go ahead and cut those out. So mine ended up being the exact same angle on each end so that I could just slide that down and cut it, and then I will rotate it around to the other degree so I can create the other angle, and that again ended up being the same on both ends. I always like to dry fit it, make sure it's going to fit properly, and if you need to take a little bit more off or sand down a little bit, but mine was a nice tight fit, and I can go ahead and screw that down, one on each end and one in the middle. Now that everything is secured together, I can lean this up and remove all of those tumbling tower pieces. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in those holes. I'm using some Gorilla Wood glue and some of the sawdust out of my saw to mix together so that I could get a natural colored finish on the gate. Since I'm not going to be staining mine right now, I thought by using the sawdust from all of the cut wood pieces that it would blend in nicely. But of course, if you screw yours from the back, you won't have to worry about this. I did this just for video purposes so you guys could see exactly what I was doing. Therefore, all of the screw holes are in the front, and this is the pretty side of the gate, so I don't want those to show through. So once that dried, I sanded it down, and I could still see all of the circles where all of the filling went into each one of those screws, and I did not like it. As you can see here, it just kind of stood out to me. So to blend that in a little bit, I'm going to take some acrylic paint and mix that up and try to blend it in as best I can. So I ended up using the color khaki since I have such a light colored wood, and a little bit of gray because I had a gray tone, and just went around each one of those screw holes and used a paper towel to kind of blend it in, and now I'm more pleased with the way it looks. So after that dries, we can flip it over, and now it's time to add our hinges. I'm using two 6-inch T-hinges that you can find at Lowe's for around $7 a piece. And then I'm also using a slide bolt latch from Lowe's for about $5 a piece. You want some heavy duty hinges because this gate is very heavy and extremely sturdy. So I'm just going to lay my hinges out on the gate, and I measured about 1/2 inch from the top and 1/2 inch from the bottom and pre-drilled the holes to attach the hinge to the gate itself. Then I can screw those in and do the exact same thing to the top hinge. So now that we have our hinges in place, it's time to install the gate, and since I'm doing this by myself, I placed a 2x4 and a piece of decking board, which gave me a 3-inch gap at the bottom, which that's what I wanted because that's what my other gate has. And then I can set this on top of the wood and hold it in place so that I'll be able to attach the hinges to the 4x4 post. I placed a level up there and it was perfectly level, so now I can go ahead and pre-drill my holes to screw in the hinges to the 4x4 post. So once I have all of those in place, I can then move to the left-hand side and add my slide bolt latch. So I held it in place to see exactly where I wanted it to be, and then I could go ahead and screw that in to the post on the porch. And once that's in place, I can slide the slide bolt over to see exactly where I need to put the latch on the gate itself. And then I can drill that in with wood screws. And what I like about this slide bolt latch is that it has a place where I can actually put a lock and lock the gate for safety purposes. I'm thinking about maybe adding an eye screw at the top corner so that when I'm on the deck, if I want the gate to be open, I can latch that to the porch rail. But this is how it turned out, and I opted to put the pretty side on the covered porch so I could see that from my kitchen door. You guys, I hope you found some inspiration in today's video and perhaps learned something new. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please make sure to click that subscribe button below the video. To all my current subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please take care, and I'll see you next time.